It's black versus green. It's Targaryen versus Targaryen in House of the Dragon. We went from incest with Targaryens sleeping with each other, and now we have Targaryens killing each other, all in the name of the crown to become king or queen of Westeros. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Entertainment, here to review the finale, House of the Dragon. This one is obviously episode 10 of season 1. It is called The Black Queen. The penultimate episode was called The Green Council. Basically, this was the reply from the Black Queen. Last episode, we seen Aegon get crowned as king. This episode, we see Rhaenyra get crowned as queen. So, we have a queen, we have a king, but only one can rule.
Only one can rule. Did this episode rule? Did it follow the trend of HBO episodes of Game of Thrones universe? Yes, I think it was lackluster. It set up a second season. But bear in mind, I mean, this season came out 2 years ago. It's only beginning to come out season 2 now. This is a long-ass wait for the way this ended, in my opinion. For me, this screamed more of a penultimate episode with the cliffhanger at the end. Like, I don't think a season can realistically end with one character telling one character with, like, slow motion playing. She turns around, vengeance in her eyes, and that's it. We fade to black. Really? That's an episode 9 for me, not an episode 10. But I think this show has actually had a gimmick of where the penultimate episodes, and, you know, this series, and franchise, just, it likes a wee... Here, episode 9 will give you the real McCoy, but see episode 10, wee bit bland. Wee bit of a stale McCoy, so to speak. Ready salted, not much flavour. But yeah, let's talk about it. Let's begin the episode, shall we?
But now it's time to find out if this episode delivered or did once again Game of Thrones / House of the Dragon give us a disappointing finale. So we begin with a pregnant Rhaenyra. She's speaking with her son, Lucerys Valerian. She's talking about him now becoming the head, the lordship of Driftmark, but he doesn't want it. He doesn't think he is good enough, and he believes that it should have went to Famed Valerian, but it's not going to go to him because we know Daemon sliced his head off. But it always feels like Rhaenyra is either pregnant in this series, or she's sleeping with other men, or she's like promoting feminism that didn't exist back in this time period. It's like she's always doing one of those three things.
No, she absolutely is, and I feel like it's forced. Again, I mean, let's just wrap it up this bit. Our son doesn't want it. He voices for this guy who just got his head cut off last episode. It's like, where was he acting Billy Big Balls in that court scene?
Yeah, why did he just turn around in the court scene to say, you know what? Feynman's got a point.
Feynman's got a point, I'm strong. And then also, talking about her being pregnant, what's this scene where they're actually giving birth? Oh, I don't need any help. It's like a fucking skit. And just like shites the baby out, covered in blood.
And it dies.
And then I went, oh, look, empowerment.
No,
she refused help. No, I think it's a case of...
Did you not trust anybody in case...
No, I think it's a case of, here, this baby needs to die, and I'm going to force it out of me so I can be not pregnant for this war. That's what it struck me as. It's like, I need to be able-bodied for this war that's coming up.
Yeah, it just seemed, I don't know, it seemed
like their kid dies, and Daemon just fucking doesn't even care. He's just doing weird shit.
Hold on, he's already got a bunch of kids. He doesn't care about what's one more.
He's probably killed half his family as well. But I don't like any fucker in this show, green or black or shite or jobby. I can't pick a side.
So you're neutral. You ain't picking.
I prefer.
I'm leaning towards green.
I prefer green. Well, context. I prefer the Hightowers, right? But again, I can't say they're fucking likable. It's like by the power of deduction, I just don't like these inbred bastards.
Alright, but
Daenerys.
Otto's treated like a heel. He's almost like viewed upon as he's like this really bad guy who's manipulated this and, you know, selfish guy. Daemon just seems to want to kill him. What has Otto Hightower actually done apart from be a loyal servant to Viserys? And he's actually trying now to put in place the king's dying word, and that is his son Aegon being the heir to the throne. Like,
Daemon is a bloodthirsty, incestuous, hippie, weird-looking freak show bastard, right? That is, I could use a million other words in there, but I'll never like him.
Yeah, no, same. But for me, I actually think the green side's more honourable.
They are more honourable,
and I think they've got the rightful claim because, look, whether it be in writing or not, whether he meant it or not, King Viserys, with his dying words, literally wanted Aegon to be the new king.
I can see similarities, right, between the role of Jaime Lannister and Daemon. But I think you can like Jaime Lannister. He's like cunning and he's got a bit of charisma around it. He's not fucking weird. Yes, him and Cersei are incestuous.
That's a bit weird.
No, that is weird, but I don't like Daemon.
My problem with this is I think the 10th best character in Game of Thrones is way better than the best character in House of the Dragon.
Yes.
Now, you can decide for yourself who's the best 10th character in Game of Thrones and who's the best character in House of the Dragon. But for me, there's just so many. If you had to combine both shows, just season 1 alone, if you had to do a top 20 character list, you'd be struggling to put anybody for House of the Dragon at maybe like 1 or 2 at a push, I think.
Yeah, no, I'd agree with that. And I think that's a problem with the show. It shouldn't be that, but again, it's like there's no likable characters. There's no characters. I think the character that I'm beginning to like the most is Viserys' second-born son. What's his name? Aemond. Aemond. He looks the part. I don't mind Sir Christian Cole, but I can't sit here and say they're great characters. You know, they're all right. But I don't know, but yeah.
Well, they're both on the green side, so is that why you're not leaning towards the green?
I might be leaning more towards green, but it's more because of your dislike of the other. I don't like the greens, but I hate the other side, so maybe I am a green.
You don't like the green party?
Aye.
Anyway, right, so Rhaenyra, she gives birth, it's dead, whatever. Her and Daemon and her council, they name her the queen.
Viserys is dead.
Yeah,
revealed by Corlys' wife, by the way. Corlys is alive.
So Rhaenys comes in and she just blurts out, Viserys is dead. I mean, Daemon and Rhaenyra, they don't take it great, but at the same time, like, they don't really grieve. They just sort of focus on their next plot. I mean, Ned Stark, I think, showed genuine upset at King Robert dying.
Emotion.
You didn't really see this here. And also, I think if you look at the Greens, I think they showed more emotion with Viserys dying than
absolutely
than Rhaenyra or any of her family.
No, they did.
Now, Daemon said a lot of bad things here about Alicent. He called her a whore, which I don't see how that can be true when she's been, she's been more loyal, I guess, than Rhaenyra's been.
Let's say Alicent.
And he also thinks she conspired to kill Viserys. There's no proof of that. I mean, Viserys hasn't been in bad shape. You could argue that if she really wanted to kill Viserys, he'd have died a long time ago. She's been with him and nursing him over the past 6 years when he's been in really bad health. Where's his brother Daemon been? Where's his daughter Rhaenyra been? They've not been there. So for him to have this warped view of Alicent, the Queen, I think's wrong.
How can he call her a whore? Even if she is a whore, it's like your wife's a whore, and your other wife was a whore, and your other wife was a whore. Mate, you're a mess.
I did kind of criticise Alicent in the last episode because she got her feet out for that weird guy, but that's not as bad as Rhaenyra sleeping around with pretty much everybody.
And your uncle as well. Fucking bogging.
So yeah, we have that. Corlys is back from the dead. He gets told that his brother has been killed by Daemon. Corlys in. He tells his wife Rhaenys that they're not going to take a side, that they're just going to go back to Driftmark and live out the rest of their days with their grandchildren. But I guess because their grandchildren are tied to Rhaenyra, maybe that's not an option. So Corlys then says to Rhaenyra that they have the sea. They are the Valerians are with her. They support her claim to the throne. So Corlys, I don't think really wants to side with Rhaena, but I guess he kind of has to.
I think he fucking bottled it, man. His brother got killed.
He did ask where Daemon was. I don't know if he was going to call Daemon out or not, but
call him out. You just cut your brother's fucking head off, son. Wake up and smell the coffee.
I also think that was very dishonourable. Why didn't Daemon at least say, right, I want to challenge you to a duel or something like that?
He can keep his tongue. Shove it up your arse, Matt Smith, you fucking cretin.
Yeah, so we have that. What else do we have? So they talk about dragons. Daemon says that, look, who needs an army? We out-dragon them 11-4 or something like that.
Yeah, 11-4 in the dragon.
I mean, who cares if you've got a lot of dragons? It's all about who's got the big dragons.
Aye, and it looks like the real dragons are belonging to Team Green, but I don't like this dragon talk. I get it, House of the Dragon. What
But
do you?
see, in Game of Thrones, you knew that the dragons were like it was going to take years and years for them to grow and even become a factor.
Yeah.
In House of the Dragon, it's like, where's the strategy? Where's the battling? Does it really matter if you have the best fighter in Westeros? Because a fucking dragon will just set him on
Yeah,
fire.
but in Game of Thrones, it's like, oh, Stannis has got 100,000 men, but Renly's got 10 million men.
It's all about tactics and stuff, but seeing House of the Dragon, it literally seems like you don't need tactics, you don't need other houses to be on your side. All you need is to have more dragons than the other group.
Yeah.
Now, Rhaenyra says she doesn't want to win the crown or keep the crown by using dragons, because then she would have to rule over like ashes and stuff like that, and she wants a kingdom to rule, not ashes. And I mean, that kind of makes sense, because I think if you are going to win by dragons, then there wouldn't be much left.
No, absolutely. So I get her point here, but
Dragons feels like a last resort.
it does. But I mean, Daemon also voiced a bit of displeasure at her auntie because you didn't kill them all. You had the chance to kill them all.
Yeah, but then again, you can't just go around killing people, can you?
Well, Daemon would. Daemon's just a weirdo, man.
But that's his fucking nephews, and he's still related to them.
I know.
Technically, I mean, that's... And that would be... That's Rhaenyra's two half-brothers
I know.
that he says you should have just killed.
It's utterly bizarre.
Do you think... I mean, that's his brother's sons.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, at least you've got Queen Alicent, or maybe we'll just call her Alicent now because she's no longer queen, I guess. You've got Alicent who like doesn't want any harm, right? Doesn't want anyone to die. And it seems like Rhaenyra is also trying to go down that route, but Daemon's like, nah, we just kill them all. I mean, really?
Yeah.
Doesn't really work that way.
So if he really cared about his brother, would he wipe out his entire family?
Like, I'm sure Ned... I mean, Ned could have just took out Cersei and her children, but he didn't want anyone to die, but it seems like Daemon just doesn't give a fuck.
Daemon doesn't give a fuck. Anyway, I mean, they're going to send ravens, but then the sons are like, no, we can go, mummy. So she's like, alright, you go to Lord Barros, you go to Stark, you go to Baratheon. He then goes to Lord Barros, and who's he meet? He meets Aemon.
Now, I don't know if this was our first time seeing Lord Barros, but I actually thought he's a decent character.
Yep. He kind of looked like Ned and Robert combined,
I thought that. He did look a wee bit Baratheon-like, so fair play there. Daemon, though, has already got there first on his big dragon, and he has offered Barros some terms that he will marry one of his daughters, whereas when Luke gets there, it's almost like he's not really giving the king anything. There's no bonuses really, you know. There's no real terms. It's basically just it's Rhaenyra just basically assuming this guy is going to pledge allegiance, and there's nothing to sweeten the pie really.
Assumption is the mother of all fuckers.
So Barros has pretty much been like, here, you come here, you don't even have anything to offer me. He's like, well, that's it. Go tell your mum that it's a no for me. And then Daemon wants an eye, throws him his dagger, says, I won't kill you as long as you give me that eye that you owe me. Daemon seems hell-bent on getting that eye back. I mean, earlier when it first happened, he seemed kind of content, the fact that he thought it was a fair trade, an eye for a dragon. But now when he's older, it's almost like he takes that back and he's like, no, I still want an eye.
I mean, Aemon looks the part, man, but these strong boys don't. I mean, I know you could argue they're still children or whatever, but how much of the age gap is there really between them?
Well, I think it's only supposed to be a couple of years, but it looks a lot older than that.
I wonder as this show goes on, are they going to replace these strong boys and other actors? Because, I don't know, like, are they ever going to grow up and looking like fucking men? That's a problem for me going forward, like.
Yeah, so we see Luce then, or what's his name? Luce, is it?
Luce? What, the dragon?
Lucerys? No, the kid.
Jace? No, Jace is the older one. Or is Jace...
Luke, I think it's Luke. Yeah, so Luke's the second born one. He's then flying back with his dragon, and he starts getting chased by Aemon. Daemon's on his big massive dragon. Luke manages to evade him, goes low, goes through some like mountains almost. I don't know, the big dragon can't fit. Then he thinks he's safe. The big dragon again comes at them. Luke's dragon then fireballs the big dragon. Aemon then loses control of his dragon. I guess this pisses his dragon off, and he's telling his dragon, no, command me, but the big dragon doesn't give a shit, and at this point it just flies around, and when Luke thinks he's escaped, the big dragon, Aemon's dragon, just comes and literally bites fucking Luke's dragon in half. I don't know if Luke got ate or if he fell off his dragon, but Luke's done, Luke's dragon's done, and Aemon's thinking, shit, what have I done here? I think he wanted to scare him, I don't think he wanted to kill him. And it kind of had a look as I think
it just backs up our points. Like, you can't really control these dragons, really.
Yeah, it's a bit far-fetched. Like, some wee guy flying on a dragon, you can... It's not like a dog, and even a dog, I guess, could disobey you at times. This is a fucking massive dragon, like, and you think you can just go play fighting?
Yeah. What I would say is, we're pretty sure he's dead, but how would a body ever be found? I have no idea where they were flying. I don't know the map, alright? So it isn't GTA, I can't just pause it and look. But would it ever be found? Especially if it fell into the sea? Or would they just assume that he's dead because he was beefing with him with Lord Barros?
Aemon, I guess, could confess.
He could have confessed.
He kind of seems like the kind of guy who would actually want to brag about that.
He does seem a bit honourable.
Yeah, he does. He'd probably admit what he'd done. We also had the Green's terms where Otto Hightower comes to speak with Rhaenyra. Daemon almost wants to kill him on sight. Rhaenyra arrives on her dragon. Otto says that the King Aegon, is willing to allow there to be peace, and that Rhaenyra can have Driftmark, and that she can have all these titles, and that her sons can have a place on the council team, and the next son can be cupbearer and all this, but...
I can definitely see the way this show's going. I think the king will die.
Daemon says that he would rather feed his own son to his dragon than let his son be a cupbearer to that cunt of a king.
Yep. You know what, he is a cunt. I don't really like the king, but Daemon saying this right in front of Otto and the... It was a ballsy move for Otto here. They could have just killed them.
It was. Rhaenyra then takes the... She takes the badge off his cloak, calls him a fucking traitor, and he says he's no more hand than Aegon is king. I'm not quite sure who Otto betrayed. I haven't really seen it. Who's Otto? Unless she means Otto betrayed her.
That's the only
But
betrayal.
see, Rhaenyra could possibly think they're making this shit up, but King Viserys did actually want Aegon to be king here, so...
I guess Otto was planning for it all along, though.
Yeah, maybe...
But she doesn't know that.
Otto was planning to be a traitor, but in the end he didn't really have to betray anybody, because...
He didn't.
The path he wanted to go down, actually... That shitstorm got put in motion. So, then it looks like Daemon's going to kill Otto.
Liam O'Neill flying about on a dragon.
But Rhaenyra then basically puts it off, and at the end of the episode... obviously word must have got back about Luke. You're saying they'll not find him, but it looks like they found him, because...
Yeah.
Rhaenyra...
It could just be that he's missing.
Yeah, it could be, but we see Daemon tell Rhaenyra something, then Rhaenyra turns around and the screen just fades to black, unfortunately, so I thought it was a bit poor.
I thought it was very lacklustre. I'm not a fan of screens fading to black, but...
I tell you what, though, it might have been better than the finale of Game of Thrones 1, Season 1.
I think it was. I believe we gave them both 5s, didn't we?
I'll give this a 6. I thought the death, I wasn't expecting death.
I kind of was expecting it, because I was like, nothing's fucking happened in this episode. He's bound to die, and he did.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10.
I'll give it a 6 out of 10 as well. I'll agree with that.
Anyway, guys, there you go. It wasn't bad by any means, but I just felt like the second half of this season was picking up, and you were maybe getting excited, thinking that they were really going to give you a great finale, and it just didn't happen. But, I guess not every show gives you great finales.
No.
And sometimes you go into a finale just automatically expecting it to be great. Can't always be the case. You're expecting something a lot better than you've got previously. Sometimes you don't get it. This was decent, and we'll give it a 6 out of 10. There you go, guys. Let me know your thoughts down below. Catch you in the next one. Till then, though, peace.